live. Welcome to The Scenting Guy. I'm your host, Jim Redding, The Scenting Guy. Very excited about today's show. Mike, our marketing director and producer, thank you so much for putting this together. And Steve, fellow podcaster,
Yep.
a lot more famous than me.
I don't know about famous, but
You've been at it longer than me.
We've been doing it a while.
Yeah, got a lot to learn. I was hoping, maybe I could hit you with some
All right.
how-to questions. Can you tell us about your show?
Yeah. So it's Cofield and Company. It's on 3 to 6, Monday to Friday. And we've been doing it in Vegas since 2004.
Wow.
And on ESPN Las Vegas since 2007. So good run. It's a good run for local radio because local radio changes up a lot. So we're very fortunate. We have a really good company, Lotus Broadcasting. Yeah, we've been doing it for 21 years and have a lot of good partners around the valley. So we do a lot of road shows, a lot of bars, casinos, and we pretty much cover everything in Vegas. The show's changed over the years because we used to have, no major league teams here. So our big topics were sports gambling, a lot of boxing and MMA.
Yeah.
Then just national stuff, NFL, college football, some UNLV, but now everything's changed. The order of what we decide to talk about changes because the Raiders are obviously gigantic. The NFL, because it's here, is now bigger than ever. College football is really big. So there's not a shortage of topics. I can tell you that. Over the years, I don't want to tell my bosses, but it's gotten easier in terms of coming up with topics. There's stuff to talk about every day.
Since 2004, how long have you personally been in town?
So I've been here since 96. And when I first came out, there was a national network called Sports Fan Radio Network. And that was kind of before ESPN Radio National and Fox Sports National took off.
Yeah.
And we had pretty good station load. We were on like 50 to 125 stations. I did all different shifts. I did mornings. I did evenings like I do now. Got to do the show with a bunch of different people who have pretty much everyone on the network graduated to something pretty good and has had long careers. We actually, funny enough, we closed in 2001 and we just had a reunion. We could probably have about 40 people show up. We had about 15, 18 show up in about a month's notice. So we're going to do a Sports Fan Radio Network reunion, which is kind of cool because that goes all the way back to 96 to 2001 is when I was there. So it was neat. It was telling all the old, war stories from radio. And, we kind of were around at the beginning of national sports talk radio.
So you had that period, 96 to 04. And then in 04, that's going off on your own. What was
so
that?
in 2001, the national company I was at closed. I wound up going to Charlotte. I worked there a little bit on a news talk station doing some sports. Yeah. And then I wanted to come back to Vegas. I mean, truth be told, I came out to Vegas in 96. I left for like a year and a half with the same company in 98. I was back in New Jersey, New York, where I'm from. I did radio there. And then I was like, I want to come back to Vegas. I came back again. Then that company closed and I went to Charlotte. I came back again. And then I actually was kind of creative. I don't think people realize there's a lot of local talk radio that's actually brokered. So what you do is you go to the station and basically say, hey, what can I do for an hour on a Saturday? So what I did was I got a good backer and we did 5 days a week, 2 hours on Lotus's Fox station. And we had to sell it. So basically you pay a price and then whatever you sell above and beyond is what you make. You don't sell, you're doing radio for free. But we did that for 3 years and then I had a chance to move into, the slot.
Wow, that's gutsy.
On Lotus. And the problem is, it's different now. Barrier to entry in radio is a lot easier now.
Sure.
If you can come up with a good podcast. I mean, you got to get the hits, but you can kind of do everything on your own and then work your way into traditional media. I'm not even sure that we're bigger than podcast anymore.
Back then somebody's got to.
But back then you had to have money to bankroll yourself at the station. And then, basically what I did was I went around Las Vegas, made connections. We had some really good clients at the time. And it worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Jim, we got to work on our origin story. 20 years from now, we got to talk about these days.
Oh, you think so?
You do. I've gotten better at it. I don't know if that was good, but if people ask, how'd you get into radio? And I'm usually like, I got lucky. That's the whole story.
Oh,
but I usually tell people.
No,
I've expanded on it now.
Yeah. No.
A whole lot of work and a little bit of luck.
Yeah. You worked your ass off and you were prepared. You were in the right place.
Thanks.
And that's the recipe for success. Yeah. You also broke out into that 3-year plus void where you only got to eat what you killed.
Yep.
And sometimes it was nothing. Hey.
Well, the thing is, it gives me a good perspective on terrestrial radio. The sales side runs the building.
Yeah.
Like if they don't sell you, then you can't survive. If you
That's right.
if you don't work well with clients, then you're a waste of time. Like, you can be a great on-air personality, but pardon my French, if you're a pain in the ass all the time and you're not good to the clients don't like you, they can't keep you around. The place only runs on advertising and partnerships with organizations in town. Otherwise, you're cooked.
Well, you must be thrilled with how professional sports is just embracing Vegas in every category. I
We
mean,
got a
it's
lot more to talk
really,
about these days.
Oh yeah.
really exciting.
Well, it's
Yeah.
crazy because when I first got here in '96, I kind of knew what I was getting into, and I'm like, I like doing national radio. I think I have good knowledge on pretty much everything. So I was fine with that. And at the time, we were pariahs out here. Vegas was kind of the enemy of Major League
That's
Sports
right.
because
Everybody
of the
was-
gambling thing, and
Yeah.
also the image of Vegas, like this, Sin City, it's evil. People don't realize, even in '96, when the town was a lot smaller, that there was a whole community beyond the Strip. Everyone thought Strip and gambling and sin.
That's right.
So sports didn't want to cozy up with us, but over time, there's been a lot of different steps that warm things up, and now you can
Yeah.
see now that,
Massive success.
frankly, Major League Sports is getting a cut of sports gambling. And
Right.
it's funny, one of my old partners, Dave Koken, would say, and he was a tout. He was a guy who sold picks, so he was kind of like the dirtiest of the dirty image wise. He wasn't a dirty guy, but like selling picks and being gambling every day. He always said, he's like, this is all bunk. As soon as the NFL finds a way to make money off of sports gambling, they're in. That's it. The barrier's gone, and that's
you
what
heard
happened.
it first
Yeah.
here.
Well, that's what
One
happened.
day I was in a sports book and I saw UNLV on there. I was like, since when can you bet on UNLV? And he's like, they just changed it. I was like, we'll have a sports team here within a year.
Yeah. Well, that was a big deal because that change happened in 2001. Because that was always an objection, like, oh, if gambling's on the up and up, why can't people in Nevada bet UNR and UNLV? And so the gaming commission and powers in the market were like, all right, you know what? Screw it. Yeah, you can bet them because we can regulate this. We can make sure it's on the up and up. And that was a big step. That was back in 2001. And then along the way, we cozied up really well with college basketball conference tournaments because they were always kind of afraid to come here. But then they were in the buildings connected to casinos. And honestly, the Vegas Golden Knights Bill Foley was really the barrier breaker because that was the first major league team here. And once the NHL saw that everything can be regulated, it's going to be safe, the players aren't going to get in trouble, then we were good to go.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come a long way.
Well, where we come in is what these sports teams smell like.
I know. I did not realize that your spread was as wide as it is. It's pretty crazy.
We dominate Las Vegas. And the reason we dominate is because I'm personally the one who developed all the signature fragrances that you experience at all these resorts here in Las Vegas. That was my job. It was Christina's idea because one of the most important things about it is these resorts are deploying pure grade fragrance oils, which means no VOCs for something that could harm a person or any animal. And Christina was the one 8 years ago that said, we should sell this stuff to the public. There's a demand. People are more and more conscious about not only their own health, but the health of their pets or whatever. So I can't take a lot of credit. It was Christina's idea, but working for my wife, it's really, she runs the business. I'm able to focus on the craft, and it's just been a lot of fun. Mike is one of my first employees, and just built the marketing and the brand. Also opened a lot of doors. It was Mike that opened the doors to the Raiders, Legion Stadium, UNLV, the Knights, all of them. Christina will still fire both of us. Yeah.
Very easily
Any day now.
disposable, apparently.
But it was a lot of fun. For the Raiders, so you have, obviously this, you've got the operations team for the Raiders and you've got the operations team for Allegiant Stadium. Obviously they work extremely well together. I mean, it's a great marriage and a required marriage.
Yeah, of course.
But when it came to the Super Bowl, it got really cool. We partnered with 8 News Now, basically put it to the local public. What should the Super Bowl smell like? Gave a lot of options. Things that made it into the fragrance were things like mud, blood, and beer, and which, by the way, for the blood we use a little bit of copper.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be putrid. Just give that metallic. Other interesting things like as far as which beverage is more prominent in the scent, the choice was given between beer or champagne, and the vast majority was champagne. I was surprised by that.
Really?
You know what I mean? But that's Vegas football, right? I mean, we're a little more pinky out,
I was
sophisticated.
going to say that's not a black hole.
I know,
The
it's
Raiders
not
black
like-
hole would be
but-
like champagne.
But we do have some smoke from Al's torch in there. It was very important to everybody
Really?
that Al's torch came in there. Yeah. So where is my super scent? Here it is. So this is the result. This is the super scent. It's also got a little bit of pigskin, some fresh cut grass.
That's amazing.
Isn't that incredible?
And you have all those elements in there?
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it. I love what the champagne did for it because it just smells like victory. It smells like we're celebrating a win. And, you know, the cool thing about Vegas is every single game, regardless of the outcome, we are celebrating a win. You know what I mean? We've got this amazing stadium and this amazing culture around it. So many of us here in Vegas were not born and raised in Vegas. We kind of came with our childhood favorite football team. So the mix of fans and the way we get along with each other and celebrate together is unique.
Yeah, it's definitely not Oakland.
Yeah.
Well, there'd be a real strong scent that would have about 95% of it,
Yeah.
and that would be weed.
Ah.
Yes,
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
the Oakland Coliseum on
We got
game
some
days
for that,
as it went
too.
along. Opposing players were like, "What's going on here?
Oh,
They're having
I
a good
know.
time."
I
Actually,
know.
you probably wanted them to toke
No,
up a
it's
little bit and
crazy.
chill out.
It's crazy. Well, you know, we have that stuff too. You know, our marijuana abatement line. Just a quick little plug. It's
Yeah.
okay if I'm a little shameless, right? It's my show. We targeted for our marijuana abatement line. Canaless is the brand name for it. Well, let me start by saying it's impossible to say, oh, this scent molecule will automatically combine with anything that smells bad. That's impossible. You have to know which molecule you're going after to come up with the hunter molecule.
Right.
And so we targeted prenothiol. Prenothiol is the one molecule from marijuana that smells skunky. Well, you take out the skunk and you've just got burning herbs. Yeah, I'll show you later.
Yeah,
It's
I want to
amazing.
smell that.
It's magical. It's magical.
Probably a massive marker for that.
So the Knights
Yeah.
wanted to smell like a castle. So this was fun too.
Okay.
So think like if you have ground steel and it starts oxidizing, the smell that it gives off, that's the smell of steel. And in that state, I can derive some essence from that.
Okay.
So it's got the steel, it's got the stone, it's got the dark woods, it's got some leather and, you know, that kind of, and some musk.
Yeah.
But then I freshened it up with cypress because when I imagine a castle, I imagine cypress around it and throughout it. And it really freshened it up incredibly. So
Conquer.
that's the fortress.
That's pretty good.
That's cool,
That's
right?
really good, yeah.
Yeah, it's masculine, but it's still fresh. Let me show you one more.
This is the one I'm curious about. How you came up with a UNLV.
Scarlet and Gray.
Okay.
Yeah. How did you come up with this, Mike? How did you come up with the name?
Scarlet and Gray is our team colors.
I understand.
So yeah, that's
So you
Scarlet,
just-
Scarlet and
that's
Gray
the-
every day.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Easy
No,
enough.
it's great. Mike, do you have our official sticker on this one? You jerk.
I do not know.
You do not. Because we actually, you know, UNLV, they're pretty serious about their brand and
Mhm.
you know where it's placed and everything. But I guess that's normal.
I think it's everyone.
But we are the official scenting company of UNLV.
Okay.
And we have the hologram sticker that goes on our product.
Yeah, we have the
make sure-
CLC,
What is
College
CLC?
Licensing Committee.
Huh?
That was a process.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not easy.
So, Mike, what's in here? Remind me.
That one's also some fresh cut grass, but it's got like a little bit of roses and stuff like that to really bring the scarlet out.
That's got the pigskin in there too.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it when we play with just a little bit of leather.
Yeah.
And it's more Cordovan than what you find on an old couch.
These are all awesome. Oh my god, they're so
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's got some soil in
So
there.
good.
I love it. I love it. I think it's you know, I think it's perfect. It can go in the man cave, but it can also just go throughout the home and give it a nice, earthy, fresh, natural smell.
We got to
I'm
put
trying
it in
to
the
get
back.
that one.
I was gonna say we got to put it in the back of a truck. for tailgates.
Right.
Have that wafting out a little bit.
just
You mix it with some barbecue. And
That's right. Yeah.
let's do it.
Well,
We're trying to get that one launched by the start of football season.
All right.
Yeah, you got to get it going. You've
I was
been
gonna say,
holding off
yeah.
because you wanted to have a pop.
I'm working on it.
Is this a reveal we're doing? Have you
A
even
little bit, yeah.
offered it out yet?
No.
See what I do?
It's
It's
all
a big
about
deal
timing.
because it'll sell.
This
It's
is
a big
good-
deal.
This is a good timing.
Yeah. UNLV football's never been hotter. So
Exactly.
they just want
Oh, so you were right in waiting until now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why do you say it's never been hotter? What's going on right now with
Well,
UNLV?
for the longest time they were kind of struggling around 4 or 5 wins, and they couldn't turn the corner and get bowl eligible with 6 wins. And a lot of it's funding, and a lot of it was facilities. So one part of it was they have a great headquarters, the Fertitta Football Complex, and the Fertitta family put about $35 million into that.
God bless them.
And
They sure did a lot for
Yeah,
us.
that's a
anyone,
God bless
and they're still doing a lot for
Yeah.
UNLV.
that's a game changer on recruiting right there
It's
alone.
massive because it's an arms race, and when you're trying to UNLV is not necessarily recruiting against Alabama or USC or Ohio State, but that next level down they can recruit against. They can pitch playing time. Also the transfer portal now, so guys who go to those schools and then want to leave
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
come to UNLV, they don't want to come out to Vegas and then the facility is junk. So they have a top-notch facility. So that was one big thing. And you know what? As much as I like Sam Boyd, it was cozy, but boy, it was uncomfortable. It was hot as Hades. Like this time of year, they have the opener coming up next week, August 23rd, and August 23rd in Vegas. Like you could play a game at
That's
6
tough.
o'clock at night, and on that turf, even at 6 o'clock at
That's
night,
tough.
it would feel like it was 125 degrees. And then you get wind out there. It's just that hot blower. So anyway, they have one of the nicest stadiums in the country because they get to play at Allegiant. And
That's
people, I
right.
think people forget some of the funding for the stadium, some of the push across the finish line was for UNLV
Certainly.
because as one of our universities,
well deserved,
we
though.
needed to fund it. And here's the thing: in college sports and especially in football, there is money to be made, but you've got to invest the money to make the money. And they've had they're a little bit in debt, but they've made the investment. And now the last 2 years, they had a great coach in Barry Odom. They won 20 games combined.
Nice.
They made 2 bowl
Yeah.
games. They hadn't made a bowl game in 10 years before that.
Yeah.
Barry Odom left he was making $1.75 million here, which was the highest that UNLV had ever paid a coach. He's making $1.75 here on a long-term deal. Purdue came in and offered him $6 million a year, a
Wow.
6-year, $36 million deal. I'm guessing with a buyout of like $30 million. So he was guaranteed $30 million. So people are in a panic, like, hey, who are they going to get? So they go out and get Dan Mullen, who had coached at Florida and Mississippi State, has ties to Urban Meyer. He's part of that coaching tree. He was out of coaching, he was broadcasting. And for him, they doubled what Odom made. So he's getting $3.5 million a year.
Thank goodness, because I don't know how anyone can make it in a 1-7.
I know, right? Well, but these coaches,
stretch.
these coaches in a lot of states, they're the most powerful person in that state. They make the most money of any public official in the state, and that's kind of the going price. So you can see the investment is there, and then with the stadium, and now won't even get into name, image, likeness. You basically have to pay guys on the roster a certain amount. You're cutting them in on your profits.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is they got a big investment, and then they got 2 winning seasons. So that's why it's hotter than ever, and hopefully they can push average attendance in that stadium maybe to a point where they're getting like 35,000, which is a big jump up. Because at Sam Boyd they have games where they get 13,000.
Sure.
Yeah, they've even opened up the Win Lounge. They're opening up more sections. They're actually getting
VIP
people in there now.
experience.
I've been to more Rebels games in the past 2 years than I have in 30.
Yeah.
And it's also a way to get into. I mean, we publicly funded that stadium to the tune of $750 million
Mm-hmm.
with our tax money, and also we're paying for roads and everything. I always make this case on air that we need to have access to that stadium, and sometimes the Raiders games are really expensive. UNLV gives an opportunity to get out there and pay $35 to $120 to get into the same stadium.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. The production is really cool.
It is special.
The whole experience at Allegiant is neat.
I highly
Raiders
recommend
do it better than anyone, and I know UNLV has some plans on the way where they're going to start upping their game in the stadium.
Fantastic.
We actually got a box suite to the Rebels game last year. We took the whole company. It was great.
Oh, it was so incredible. And I gotta say, Allegiant really does a great job with just everything. I mean, even their food and beverage program, you expect it to be, some sketchy food, but it was great.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
days
line
I was actually
Everything's
doing
top notch.
Believe it or not, yesterday I did probably 8 minutes on pretzels at stadiums. because the Colts had introduced a new pretzel, but it didn't look very aesthetically pleasing. But I was just talking about my love of pretzels, and we got into kind of this era of stadium and concessions. Everyone's up their game. Now the stuff is more expensive, but it always used to be expensive. And then you'd get it and you're like, this hot dog stinks. The roll is stale. This
Right.
pretzel for $8 now might be 14 now, but this pretzel's terrible.
But make it a great pretzel.
But like if we're making, we're making the investment, give us good food,
right?
right? We'll pay for it, but give us good food.
What is the key to an awesome pretzel?
Well, first of all, I'm not a overly. I don't want it overly salted. I don't know if you guys are heavy salt guys. And then a lot of times the old pretzels, you take a bite and all the salt would come off.
Right.
So I think some salt, not crazy amount of salt. I think it has to be hot. And the biggest thing is, I don't think
the salt needs to be those little cubes too.
They got to find. I forget how they stick it on. I actually did work in concessions at a racetrack years ago, but I wasn't a pretzel guy. I was a soup guy, believe it or not.
Nice.
But I just think a warm.
Where can I get a bowl of soup?
You know,
this game is amazing.
It was
crazy. What would hit the spot now?
I'll do 20 minutes on that. Old Harry M. Stevens concessions.
I'm sorry, Steve. So the pretzel. This is important,
right?
Because I love pretzels.
Yeah, I just think as long as it's a warm pretzel, it has to be fresh too.
Yeah,
because too often, it feels like it's stale or it's overcooked.
Oh, they're tough.
Yeah,
because they can't, once they're prepared, they can't hang around very long before they start hardening and stuff, because that's part of being fresh.
So
it's very important. And what are we dipping it in?
This has gone completely off the rails.
This is kind of like my show. We talk a lot of food. Good beer, cheese sauce. I'm a mustardaholic, so love some grain mustard. You don't always get that, but a little bit of spice in the mustard. Unless you guys are yellow mustard people.
So I am a yellow mustard.
Are you?
Person. Yeah, sorry.
Come on. There's no excitement.
Yeah, I'm strictly beer cheese.
Yeah.
Beer cheese with my pretzel.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that. Are you optimistic about baseball and maybe NBA basketball?
Okay, so I'm optimistic the NBA will be here. I don't know the timeline because I thought they would announce it about now, and we'd have a team maybe by 29 or 30. But I think we're getting a team along with Seattle in the expansion.
Nice.
I'm very interested to see who the ownership is, because ownership is very important in Vegas. Yeah, Major League Sports. Bill Foley set the pace. Bill Foley is hyper competitive.
Yeah,
I think people were shocked. They fell in love with some of the early teams of the Golden Knights, and they're like, "Wait, that guy we loved, he's gone." They run the organization. It's not mean, but they run it with no emotion. And the goal is they want to win every year. And to win a cup in 6 years is incredible. To go to the finals in year one is one of the most amazing accomplishments ever.
And the timing was just, we needed it.
Oh, we did need it, yeah. But he set the tone. So now you have a lot of owners around sports who kind of, hey, they've got the property, they've got the team, they get a free stadium publicly. Oftentimes it's daddy's team. So now it's the son or daughter owning it. They don't have the drive that dad did. Like, I'm a Yankees fan. George Steinbrenner was a lunatic and he was a pain, but he wanted to win. And I'm not saying Foley's like that, but George wanted to win. Foley wants to win. And I think Mark Davis has learned some lessons, like that they had to get a lot of the dysfunction out of and they made some, bad hires. And
I get it.
So the point, so to go back to, am I enthusiastic about the other major league sports coming? Yes, because I think they'll have a really good NBA ownership group, because the expansion fee is going to be $5 billion.
Oh,
so they're not coming here to lose and not make money and have a half-empty arena 3 years in.
I'm concerned with the A's because their ownership has not had a good history lately.
They've been scaling things down in anticipation of a move. And
that's tough to invest right now.
They have not competed. Their payroll has been somewhere between, say, $55 and $90 million. Well, the good organizations are at least at 150 to 200. The Dodgers are at like 350. You got to spend money, and baseball gives them $150 million off the top each season. So you got to put that money into the payroll. So long story short, John Fisher, who's the owner, he's got to realize the novelty of that stadium, the coolness of baseball here, and teams from outside the market coming in. That will last for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then after that,
you have to capitalize.
If they're junky, if they're a 70-win team, it's not. This isn't
Las Vegas market.
Yeah,
they'll find something else.
Yeah,
we will.
Yeah, obviously, tourism is can't be overstated how critical it is to our economy. But especially when it comes to sports, don't underestimate the power of the local crowd here.
Yes.
I mean, we're 3 million in the metropolitan area, and we're nuts.
Yeah, I think early on he is underestimating. the power of it, because he's talked to a lot of media people outside the market, and he's talked about how exciting it's going to be when the Yankees and Dodgers come here, and it's like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you got to fill your stadium on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
That's right.
And even a Thursday. That's going to be locals. Now that said, if he does it right, this stadium is a good investment, because you see what's happening right now in Vegas. We need a draw here, additional draws here from May through August.
And you still haven't seen any signs of saturation or anything like that. No, not by a long shot. Man, I wish we could talk all day.
Yeah.
This has been awesome. Steve, thank you for
of course,
coming on.
Anytime.
I'm humbled.
I wanted to talk more sense. I wanted to talk more about the all these scents I've fallen in love with at all the different casinos. Which, by the way, I have at least one of your small burners, and we have, I think, Mandalay and M.
Excellent.
And yeah, it makes the house smell so cool. And I'm a smell guy. I love candles. I'm supposed to admit that as a guy. My girlfriend loves candles.
Well,
I just enjoy it. She buys them.
I can tell you with confidence that we have all of them. So I'll tell you what. Why don't you and I hit the smelly bar after the show?
It's very exciting.
And we'll go through them. All right.
I usually hit the other bar, but let's do the smelly bar.
Yeah, we'll do this. That's cool. Yeah.
We got time for both.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. Well, thanks again.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Mike, thanks for putting this together.
Absolutely.
What should I wrap up with here? We're gonna do a promo in Steve's honor.
Yeah.
Cofield, that's your last name.
Yeah.
And then of course your show, Cofield and Company. Huh?
Let's do 25% off again.
It's killing me. So 25% off. We got to limit the time on that.
Yeah, 3 days.
3 days, 25% off. Coupon code is Cofield. Cofield, like you would spell it.
I like that.
In your honor.
I like that a lot. 25%. That's good. Good. I'm
Thank
telling
you.
you, this stuff is awesome.
Thanks for watching. Let us know if you have any questions. Maybe even pose some questions for Steve. Or, you know what? Ethan needs to provide the link to Steve's.
Absolutely.
Yep. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. I'm Jim Redding, the scenting guy. Smell you later, alligator.
Go fragrance yourselves.